Hello, my crafty friends. I'm going to play with my watercolors a little bit today. I swatched them on this card in the last video when I first got them and put them in this palette, but I haven't played with them yet, so I'm ready to do that. I think I'm going to like these colors. The only one I don't really care for is the red, but it seems that I always feel that way in every watercolor set I've ever played with, so I may have to actually, buy a really good red that's an expensive tube compared to the rest of these and see if maybe I'm happier with that. I don't know. But all the rest of them I'm pretty happy with. Um, I've already sprayed down my palette so the paints are kind of wet, and we're going to just play a little bit. I was watching Marimay's Small Art yesterday, one of the videos that she did, and I'll link it below, where she did what she called watercolor staining with ink on top. And she made a landscape, and it was really cute. I really liked it. Um, After she got, about halfway through it, she said she suddenly realized it reminded her of what Cece does. And I thought the same thing when I was watching it. It did remind me of what Cece does. And I've always loved what Cece does. So that was cool for me for it to be like that, similar in style. Um, the one thing that they both do well that I don't do well, I don't do anything as well as they do, but one thing I want to try to do better that they both do well is leave white space. I'm not good at leaving white space with anything I do. And I'm really, really wanting to try to learn how to do that because I really feel like watching their videos and seeing the work that they do and the work that I've watched Heather Crafter do on Craft It Live. I'll link one of her videos below, the watercolor that she does. All three of them leave white space, and I think the white space around their watercolor is one of the things that make them so beautiful, because they really pop. It's not overwhelming you by covering up every square inch of the paper, and I really want to try to do that. And so I'm going to play some today. I'm going to start out playing on these little artist tile cards by Studio Series. Um, I'm not I'm not happy with these cards. I'm going to be honest with you. I bought them half price at Michael's, and they were $5.99 to begin with, so I paid $3 for 25 tiles. And if that's not a whole lot of money, but I don't know how the watercolor will do on them. They weren't specifically made for watercolor. It's a pretty smooth cardstock, heavy cardstock, 400 GSM acid-free cardstock, but it doesn't feel like it's going to be something great for watercolor. But I'm going to play on them anyway. The thing I don't like about them is that you cannot get them out of this tablet without tearing them. I tore up 3, and I was being as careful as I could before I finally got 2 to come out that were sort of in one piece. Now there's still a little bits around the edge there, and even more on this one where they just tore. And the other 3 are in the trash because they're completely unusable. I may dig them out and cut them up, make ATCs out of them or something, but I was mad and I threw them away. So I would not recommend this product specifically for the way they're packaged. Um, like I said, I haven't put anything on any of them. I don't know how they act. Um, they may be great to use with different media, but they're a real headache to try to get out of the pad in order to use them. So um, enter at your own risk as far as those are concerned. So let's play a little bit here. Um, I've got my water back here. You can't see it, but I've got 2 jars of water, one for my dirty water and one for my clean water that I hope will help me keep the colors clean. When I was doing my swatching, I forgot the second jar. And so I was having to, really wash them good and use a paper towel to make sure I had gotten all the paint off and everything. I'm just going to set this down in here for now. And let's get the brush. I'm using, this one is a Master's Touch size 16. I've got a 24 here and an 8. And I really like these brushes. Heather Crafter is the one who recommended them, and I went and bought them because she talked about how much she liked them. They're not an expensive brush, and so if you're if you're afraid you might ruin something, you know, at least you didn't spend a whole lot of money on them. These came in a set. I think there were 4 brushes for $10, and I used my 40% off coupon, so I thought that was a good price. But Heather does beautiful paintings, and she can do all kinds of details with just this brush. It's amazing what she does with that big old brush. But anyway, we're going to play with a little bit smaller brush because I have less confidence. One thing I want to do is just draw some, maybe some circles with some water. And you can't see that now, I'm pretty sure, but that's okay. I'm just getting it damp. And then I'm going to pick up some colors. Let's try this purple here. And I'm just going to dab it in and let it go. See what it'll do in that circle. And I'm also not patient. And I think that's something that I need to learn, is some patience, because I tend to not let it do, you know, the thing that it does well, which is spread out into the water. I tend to overpaint. Okay, I should have had something over here to wipe off on. I guess I'll just put it over here on this paper. All right, let's do a little bit of this cerulean blue. Let's put that in this one. Let it kind of do its thing. And then what can we put in this other one? How about let's do this one. It's cobalt blue. All right. And I'm just going to let those sit just like that for now, because I don't want to, like I said, I'm practicing trying to have restraint. Oh, and so this time I'm going to use the color on the brush and make a circle. And we'll see maybe the differences between those. These are Shinhan watercolors, for those of you who haven't seen my other video where I did the swatching. Let's do an orange here. I'm not an orange person, but that really is a pretty orange. And let's see. Let's try this opera. It's a very, very bold color here. I don't want these to run into each other. Well, I can already tell you, just looking at these two side by side, I prefer that method. It looks a little more organic than this does. Of course, when they're dried, it may be different. But they're all kind of wet right now, so. I'm going to just leave those for right now because I'm not in the mood to go through the trouble to dry them. And I kind of like watercolor better when it's kind of dried on its own instead of when you've dried it. These do buckle pretty bad because they weren't, I don't think they're really made for wet medium, but anyway. And this is an art journal I've got that I've just done a little bit in, not much. I played with some dry pigments in that one and then doodled over it. This one I painted into a stencil, and then I did some doodling with it too. And that's just a weird made up city that I did with the dry pigments up here for the sky. And as you can see, there's no white space. Even in this one where I thought I was trying to leave white space, there was no white space. And then the only other thing I've done in this art journal is this wild page here that I think there is just no hope for that one. I had a lot of fun doing each layer, but it just is not, I don't know. It's just too much of everything. Too much gold, too much copper, too much texture, too much. And I don't normally think you can have too much texture. But anyway, that was the first thing I did in here, and I felt like I ruined the book when I did that one. In fact, I did one layer and I thought, oh, that's hideous. I got to add another layer, and I did the circles next. And oh, that's awful. I got to, so I inked, drew around them next, and I just wasn't happy with that. And so I added the texture paste next, and then I just kind of gave up. So we're going to skip that, and we're going to just find a page here. This is definitely better paper than those little postcard things that I was working on. But I don't know, a lot of how something turns out has to do with the artist and not just the paper. So let's turn this around this way. Okay. So trying to decide, and you could see on these that I still left them very, very deep colors. They didn't, they weren't soft. That's one thing that I really liked about what Marimay Small Art did, and what Cece does is her colors are softer. And so I just don't have enough water, I think. I don't know. But we're going to play on this page. And I think what I'm going to do this time is just spray some places. And then I'm going to get some color with this big old brush. And I'm going to do some, ooh, well, look at that. Goodness gracious. Maybe I need to, oh, I don't want to waste that paint. Let's see if I can find something to just prop that up on. Doesn't want to prop. Okay, I've got to tape this down or something because it's not working for me. I don't know if the tape will even work because it's in a book and it's already wet, but I've got to try something. Let's go ahead and see. Okay. Okay. And my tape's not very even, but maybe it'll hold it a little bit straighter. Goodness, that was okay. Let's get a little bit more water here, and let's just dab in that color. Let's see how it goes. All right, let's take this brush and lay it down there. And let's do some blue. different green. Take a little bit of that and bring it over here. I've got too much paint over there, and my paper is just going blah, 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 so it's going to be an interesting look here. Let's try to bring some of that down. It's so strong right there. Okay. So far, not sure what I think. It just looks like a mess to me. So let's add in a little bit of this here. Get a little bit more of that. It's a big puddle right there. Let's try to put in some. See, I'm already in danger of having too much paint on here. Tempted to just drop some water, just come kind of up. Just touch those and let them come up into it. Of course, in doing that, I'm still taking away more white space. Okay, I think I'm gonna see if we can. Well, I did a good job of taping that down, didn't I? Tear up my paper underneath. Well, that's what happens when you don't think ahead. Goodness gracious. I am tearing it up. Okay. Good thing I do collage, right? Because then I can tap it down like this. And then let's get a paper towel and dry some of that off. Okay, let me pull that paper up. That's a very thin paper that was like packing in something, and I've been using it as under paper, and it did not want to be under this. Okay. Can't remember if I cleaned that off or not. I guess I must have. Alright, let's lay those down. Wrap this tape up here. Okay. I think I'm going to need to dry this, or let it dry. Let's just set it aside and let it dry. That'd probably be better. Okay. Let's bring these back. They're not completely dry, but they're way drier than that one is. And I want to try just spraying them with some water. And then well, you can see a harsh circle there, can't you? I was hoping that would, you know, soften up. Alright, we're gonna set that over and let it dry now too. And let's try doing this one with a brush. Alright, let's let that one run a little like that. Yeah, this is not great paper for watercolor. I didn't think it would be, but I don't really like that harsh line in there. That's one of the things that always makes me feel like a kindergartner when I paint with watercolors. So maybe I need to invest in some better watercolor paper. I don't know. Of course, I knew that wasn't good paper when I did it, so I'm not worried about it. Let me find another pad of watercolor paper somewhere around here. I know I've got one that I can play on while I'm waiting. Okay. Alright, here's a little pad. This is just a Master's Touch watercolor pad. It's not a big deal, but we're going to play on this paper. And let's see. Probably need to put something under this. That's better than that. Okay, we'll just get this out and work on it. Okay. There we go. All right. Let's see if this does any better. We'll do some, let's do squares this time. I'm just going to put water in a square. I can't even see enough to know if I'm doing a square or not. This one's going to be more rectangle-y maybe. Add a little bit more water here, a little bit more water here, and a little bitty square up here. All right, and then let's put some blue in that. Let's do some greenish in this one. And we'll do this purple in this one. Okay, well that's moving pretty. Add a little bit more to this. Because I want to see if we can make them drip here. Come on, blue. All right. Probably should have done circles, then I could have turned them into flowers, whereas squares are just kind of squares. I don't know what you do with squares afterwards. Okay, but I left white space, so that's good. White space. That was one of my goals, to leave some white space. So let's do one now with some circles and see what we get here. Okay, we're gonna just do, and I'm not even gonna try and worry about whether they're real circles or just circle-ish. Circle-ish, I think that's good enough. All right, let's put a little bit of this in that one. And a little bit of this. And this one, maybe a little bit more. One of the reasons I got this thing out was so I could tape this down. Then I forgot to do it. Oh well. That's the way it goes for me. Let's do this big one with this color. And let's do a blue in that one. And let's use this kind of turquoisey color in this one. All right, let's bring that. Well, then let's get them to kind of. And then make them drip. Okay. I'm going to leave those just like that. Trying to, like I said, practice on leaving white space. Let's look at this one and see if it's dried at all. Nope, it's still wet. So I think I may come back, dry all these, and then come back and we'll play with them a little bit more. Thanks, friends. I'm not sure if the next part will be part 2 separately or if I'll add them together. So if I don't add them together, I'll see you see you next time. Bye bye. Blessings to you all. Okay, I decided to get all these dry and then go ahead and come back and add to this video instead of making a separate one where I'm going to play with these a little bit more. And then I may do a separate video when I start trying to doodle on them. This one, I like the colors in it. I think it's pretty, but it just looks like a map to me, a topographical map. I don't see any flowers or trees or cityscapes or anything in there that I know what to do anything with. So I'm going to add a little bit more to it and see if I can make something show up that will look like trees or flowers or something, and this be the background for them. I don't know if it'll work. You may get to see a complete bust here, but I'm going to play with it and see. This one I like. I think this could become trees or flowers. I am going to add some grass type stuff here. It needs some land to be growing out of, I think. And I may add some splatters or something to them too to give them a little more depth before I doodle on them. And then this one, I'm going to probably turn it this way and do some more squares. And then, you know, let it run down this way just to see how that'll look and what that'll do for it. I don't know. It might be good, it might not. These on those artist tiles, I don't really like. I just don't like the way the watercolor looks on them. But I'll probably add some more circles on them and just, you know, give them a chance. It might end up just being in the trash, but I'm going to try to see if I can save them. So I'm going to add some more watercolor on all of these, and then I'm going to, then I'll probably finish for today, and I'll come back and doodle on them another day. That'll be the part 2 video, I guess, doodling. So let's play with this a little bit here. I'm going to start out. I think I'm going to, I guess I need to decide if I want these to be flowers or trees. Because then I can decide if I want to add, you know, colors on top of them that are different, or if I want to keep the same greens and blues. I think I'm gonna just be wild and go for flowers. I'm just gonna put in some kind of rough flowery type shape, kind of an uneven shape, and then I'm gonna drop some of this pinky purple stuff into it. It's sure not wanting to travel around very much, is it? It's not looking like a flower to me. It looks like a mess. Oh, goodness. I really do hate that. Just like, let me get a paper towel, see if I can get some of that off. Oh, goodness. I would have been better off, I think, to just put a circle up there and see what happened. All right. Take 2. Oh, goodness gracious. All right. Take 2. Let's just do a circle shape. And then I'll go ahead and use that same color. Just drip into that circle shape. And see what happens there. I'm just going to let it kind of do its thing. And then let's do another one right here. That looks like it was trying to bloom already. And let's do yellow in that one. Maybe that won't be such a mess. Let's see what that'll bloom into. Okay. And all right, let's go ahead and see if I can get that to do something here with that. Let's do this color in there and see if it'll turn into something flowery. Still not happy with that pink. Goodness, that's just driving me nuts. And the yellow's a little too much too, so let's take some of that off. Okay. Alright, I'm liking that better with the dabbing thing. Let's dab the yellow a little bit and see if we can. I don't know if that's making it better or worse here. Let's add a little more yellow right there. No, I just took it off and back. I'm adding it back, but I didn't like it dabbed off. Okay. I think I'm gonna try to do something here, but just use a different color. That was just not making me happy. Let's try this. Okay. And let's try something here. Let's go with a dark blue. I know there aren't many blue flowers roaming around out there, but we're gonna make one. Okay, and I know what you're thinking because it's what I'm thinking. That is not so great. We can pull some of that back. Okay. Kind of liking the purple, but it's just pooling a little too much. So I'm gonna take it back a little bit too. I'm either gonna love it or hate it when it's finished. I don't know which. But I think I need to do another little purple one because it'll look really weird in here if it's the only one. Let's try right here. Okay. Try to give it some kind of shape other than just round. I don't know. Maybe we need to do that with this one up here too. I hope I'm not talking you out of playing with watercolors because I'm so clueless about what I'm doing. But I'm never going to get any good at it if I don't play with it some. I know that, so. I think I'm trying to force the flowers too much. And I should have just kind of let it go, but it's a little late now because I've already done it. Try to pull some of that color back in. And one of the things I was saying about, oh, this is pretty. This is the prettiest thing I've done today. Oh, goodness. What I was saying about Marimay and Cece is that their colors are muted, and I really like that. Why can I not manage to do that? I don't know. Oh, goodness. All right, let's find another flower or two so I can let's get some yellow in that one. Let's give this a little bit more shape, even if it's just minutely here. Okay. Oh, goodness. Okay. I think I'm going to add another one of those, except the center I got wet and I don't want to get it wet. Okay, let's try that. One thing though, for sure that I did not do is I didn't make these kind of rounded petals. And that one is. So if they're going to be the same kind of flower, I need to do that. I like that one. I'm going to leave it alone. It's probably the only one I really do like. So, okay. You know, I think I've already messed this one up. So I'm going to move it and let it dry, and we will hope that it looks better after it dries. Maybe some ink will save it. I don't know. Let's do this one next. Add some grassy type stuff to it. Let's do. I'm going to add a little of this with some sap green and make some green. And I'm just going to dab from the top here and let it kind of okay. We're going to just let that be. For now. I think I'm going to use this tiny little brush and get some of this blue and just kind of see if I can get some splattery stuff. Okay. All right. Do I want another kind of splatter? I think I do. Let's see what happens if I splatter a little bit of this opera pink on it. Those splatters are all pretty small. I maybe should have done something different. Oh, goodness gracious. That was not planned. Okay, see if we can save it. Let's make it run a little bit. See if we can make it run. And no, it just plopped. That's not good. Didn't want it to plop. Okay. All right, let's encourage it a little bit here with a brush. All right. Let's see if we can get some more of that green to come down here. Oh, goodness, people. All right. Well, I think this video should be called What Not to Do with Watercolor. What do you think? All right. We're going to set that aside and see what happens with it. Goodness gracious. Okay. If you haven't gone away by now, you are a very dedicated watcher, or you're desperate to see if I can salvage something out of this whole session. Oh my. Okay. Let's see what colors we can have going this other direction. Let's do one. Going like this. And I just realized that what I did last time was put water in and then add my color. And this time I just added it in. So I'm going to kind of squirt it a little bit and see if it'll maybe soften the edges a little bit. All right, and that's probably a little too much, but let's just shake it down anyway and see. Okay. And let's see, what other color can we add to it? Let's do the water, adding the water first this time. Okay. And let's do a little orange. See what happens there. And let's make that one drip a little bit too. Okay. I feel like I need to do something else right up here. So let's go ahead and wet it down. And do a, okay, let's do a purple one. All right, let's see if we can make that purple run a little bit. Come on, purple. There we go. All right. I don't know if that makes it better or not. We may need to turn around and do some more coming this other direction later. We'll set that over there and let it dry. And then we've got these two to paint some more circles on. Okay, so let's see what we can do here. And I think what we did with these was paint them on, and then, well, let's do a circle right here. In yellow. Since it's in the blue, that'll probably be all right. We'll see what happens with that. And then let's do a little bit of a red one. We haven't done anything in red because I'm not really excited about red. Okay. And then let's add a little bit of this opera pink here. Let's make those, see if we can get those to drip some. Come on, red. Okay. All right, we're going to leave those alone. Not super excited about it, but at this point, I'm not super excited about anything I've done so far. So, we'll see. Let's go with some Viridian right here. And some yellow up here. And different red up here. Okay. And then I'm going to give those a little squirt. And we're going to let them run and see if that. Now it looks like clown school. I don't know. It's definitely better than it was, though. Have to admit that. Makes me want to do something else right here because then it can kind of cover that up like the other ones did. Let's see, what can we put there? Let's do some of this. Okay. All right. And then I want to give it a little squirt. And we're going to let it run. Okay. Well, that's nothing like anything I was looking for. But I actually think it's pretty. It's probably the prettiest thing I've done. And it was not what I was wanting to do. But there is a little bit of white space. There's a little bit of white space. So, and once again, I think my napkin's pretty. Oh, goodness gracious. All right, I'm going to let that sit. And I'm going to call this, well, let's decide. Should we add a little more on? No, that's still wet. I think I'm going to add a little more on it anyway. I may. I'm not really excited about it as it is, so why not? Okay, what color? Oh goodness, I just really messed up that. I don't know how I did that, but I did it. Okay. What can we do here? Let's try. Oh, we haven't used this. Let's try some of this Bordeaux here. Do a kind of a long rectangle here of the Bordeaux. And I think I'm going to do no, because I don't have two of anything else. So let's, what can we add in over here? Let's try yellow. Okay, let's try. Okay, let's see if we can get those to drip. Okay. All right, we're going to leave that alone for now. And I'll come back and decide which ones I think are worth trying to ink on later. If you stuck around this long, thank you so very much. God bless you, and you have a great day. Bye-bye.